Hi Naren, good morning.
Morning.
So we will just start the session and participants will keep joining in.
Sure.
Uh, Hi, good morning everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this session. This is actually the sixth session in our series, and we are thankful to all the participants who are continuing to join our sessions. Today, our session is on low code digital transformations, and we have with us Mr. Naren Vijay. He's the co-founder of True Tech Solutions, and he's also a serial entrepreneur. He's also having multiple roles in other organizations. He's building some amazing technology and automation, and he's been instrumental in creating many success stories in digital solutions. And he's someone who was involved in creating digital transformation roadmaps. He creates strategies for enterprise solutions, and he's worked on multiple software products tools. And He has a strong business acumen and excellence for execution. And I think working on low code solutions is one of his key areas of expertise. And he's here to share with us a few uh, details about how his journey has been, what impact that low code can create, what potential it has, and a few very interesting case studies so that you can understand where this can be applied, what verticals it can be applied in. So over to you, Naren. With this quick update, I just will hand it over to you, and we'll keep the questions open for our participants. They can drop in your questions anytime, as and when you want to feel like asking some questions. You can also raise your hand if you would wish to directly talk to Naren. Yeah,
Yeah.
over to you, Naren.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kavya. Kavya, is it okay to give a couple of minutes? Because I see some of them from my team as well join.
Sure,
So
sure. We
yeah,
can give it a 1 or 2 minutes and then we can start it.
yeah. Because just for the interest of people who have registered,
Sure,
uh,
sure.
and everyone, thanks for joining. Just please bear with us for 2 minutes. We will give some more chance for people to join, and then I can share the screen and start the session. Yeah, thank you.
Sure, Naren.
All right, I think we can start now.
Sure, Naren. Over to you.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much for everyone joining this session. And definitely, a big appreciation for NASCOM to setting up this meeting and transforming this knowledge to colleges and faculties to help your students and train them in upcoming technologies and most most transformational technology, which is low code. I think a big thanks to NASCOM and also for Kavya for all the effort. Thank you so much. So what I'll do is, today I just thought, want to just give you a very glimpse of who am I. That will help you to understand further slides, and when I explain about the tech stack or use cases, it will be more relatable. So, I've been in industry as an entrepreneur in IT space for close to 15 years. And in this 15 years, 10 years, we have been working in low code stack. So when I say low code, this is a technology or a methodology that has been adopted by very big enterprises for various reasons. So I'm gonna explain that in further slides. So why I'm insisting now is even before the name is coined as low code, we are working in this space and helping a lot of enterprises. So that means there is a lot of depth that we carry from this space. And I'm also a founding team of three different ID companies between services and products, and started this journey from 0 to 800 people organization today. And within low code, I would say, I've been more generous. So 50 plus low code projects that's been delivered. But if you look at from the sub projects and solutions that we have created, it quite considerable with the low code space. And right now, our focus is in US, Middle East and Africa, and Asia Pacific. So this our organization delivers low code globally today. And so this is who I am. I'm the co-founder of this company, and also been part of a lot of evangelist activities in low code space as well for many product companies that is providing low code. So what we are going to learn today is very simple. It is very difficult also for me to give 1 hour in 1 hour, download all the low code, details. But what best I can do is put you to the curiosity of you to learn what is low code, right? This session will be mostly to for you to understand what is really low code. Is this a market available for low code? If my students are completing the course, will they get a job? Will they sustain in this technology? Can they build a career in this technology? Is that a lot of people come and ask like, okay, this is not coding, then will my professional career will have some impact? So these are some of the questions that will get answered today. And hopefully, if we get a chance, we can discuss more in future. But the idea is, for me to today introduce you what is low code and what generally low code helps to do the digital transformation. I'm not going to go and deep in digital transformation, assuming that most of you understand what is digital transformation today. So there are difference between the native technologies versus low code, and why customer uses low code on digital transformation. This is something that we will touch upon. And also I'll be taking few use cases that has been delivered by our company, and how we ensured that enterprises like this size adopted low code, and what are the benefits they really got, right? So that is how the session will be mostly. And end of the session, you can definitely ask questions, and in between, you can type your questions. And if you want to talk, let us know. But what's that you're going to get end of session is basically a very interesting introduction to the low code, and also will give you a pathway to learn more low code, how to go search, understand. Questions like, is the low code used by larger organization or smaller organization? So all these questions could be answered, but it won't be more technical and in depth because that requires a lot of time as well. Yeah. So let's start with what is low code, right? So there's a lot of definitions available in Google. If you type organization, there are products that is going to explain what is low code in a different ways, right? One of the common ways that people explain is a methodology. Low code is a methodology that allows organization to build application in a visual interface. That means, um, you don't need to really sit back and do the coding. Instead, visually you can drag, drop certain things to build an application. Okay? That is like a common explanation that is given for a product or for a solution like low code. But with my experience, when somebody asks me what is low code, I would always say this, right? Build unique, complex application faster, right? So, what is the fun of developing an application for 3 years, right? It's not a movie like Indian movie where you spend 2 years to build a movie, right? It is like a project. Your business wants a mobile application, or your business wants web application, or your business wants to automate some process in their organization. And it could be a simple process or it could be a complex process. But when it is a complex process, it's not necessary that you need to take more time. But what generally low code allows you to do is you can build a unique complex application faster. How fast is something that we were going to talk about, right? Is it really faster, or is it something very notational, right? So we will going to discuss that. But in a context, right, in a general terms, it is a methodology. It's a development methodology, right? When I say development methodology, it is not like a project management methodology like Scrum or Agile or something. It is something that you will not use a set of development tools. Instead of that, you're going to adopt a different product or a solution. And using that, you are going to accelerate the process of building software project, right? So we will go through some examples, and I'll take you there. Right? Okay. The second question everybody asks whenever there is a new space like low code, or currently the new space that is coming up is called hyper automation next to the low code, which involves AI and ML part of low code. But is there a low code have a market? Can I get a job? Can I build a career in low code? Can I sustain in low code for next 15, 20 years? Is it a right space? What will happen to my set of students? And if the students are going to ask you all of these questions, you just need to remember that low code is a extremely big market, right? So it is projected up to 2028 about $100 billion market. So when you translate this to 100 billion into a number of employees, so it will be like a per employee contributes close to $50,000 in a year, right? So if you divide you do the max of 100 billion to 50,000, so you will get so much of scope for people to work, right? This is the Economic Times Fortune Business Insights says that 2028 up to 2028 it's a 100 billion market. But let's go back like 2021. Is it $14 billion market is achieved in 2021? I would say it has achieved more. It has crossed 16 billion in 2021. In fact, it is almost 35 billion today, worldwide market. And within this market, okay, there are a lot of players that contributes this business. Uh, but if you drag this to an industry, who are the industries going are using a lot, right? So you have a lot of distributions here in this slide, but I can give you a little example on some of the real use cases that you may even have it, right? For example, BFSI, which is banking financial services. If most of you would be using your mobile banking, app, right? ICICI or Axis Bank or SBI. So SBI One, Yono, or Axis Bank mobile app or ICICI mobile app, everything is developed on low code for your information. So there is no mobile app that banking application that you use in your phone is developed on pro code. Axis Bank is using low code. SBI is done by us using a platform called Kony, and ICICI using a platform, IndusInd Bank using a platform, Equitas is using a platform. So HDFC using a platform. If you are using any bank mobile app today, so that's a BFSI industry adoption to low code, right? When it comes to healthcare, when it comes to IT services, when it comes to media, everybody, like for example, if you take healthcare, AstraZeneca, one of the top leading healthcare industry, Atna groups. So there are extremely large groups using low code. Is that like, I have to stick to coding, and I should I face always look at myself as a developer and I have to keep coding in my life? Not really. You can actually learn a lot, industry specific applications, and you can build a lot of applications using low code. So if you're a developer and if you're working on one project for 1 year, if you're working as a developer in low code, you can develop 4 projects in 1 year. Is that amazing, right? So if it will really make me more curious and more interactive, because I will end up doing 4 projects rather than one project. That means my knowledge is going deeper, wider, and extremely better. So that is a big difference on low code market, right? So how really enterprise uses this, right? How digital transformation happens using low code. So first, let us understand, one thing that what is the massive barriers in digital transformation. So if you go to a a bank like SBI, if you go to a manufacturing company like Renault Nissan, or if you go to a different industry like Apollo Hospitals, what you will end up seeing in an IT organization is you will find a project that are getting backlogged so much. When I say it's backlogged, I will give you an example. Like when you go to a bank, we all think bank is very simple, banking software. No, if you think about it, a bank has multiple uses, right? For example, customers, agencies, bank employees, investors, and their staffs works in a different environment, credit card, loan, different products. So just to visualize, for you to visualize, the business is keep on going to ask the IT team to develop projects. Now, say for example, I am the IT team of one of the large bank, and I'm going to get 10 requests in 1 month. But can I deliver 10 projects in 6 months? No. What will happen is every month I'm getting 10, but every 6 months I'm delivering 2 projects, 3 projects. Then what will happen is in my backlog, I may end up having 50, 60 projects always not delivered. Right? My business is waiting. And because of that, there is no time for innovation at all. So if you ask me, are you going to use a Gen AI in your bank? How many of you seen a Gen AI in any of the bank today? Nobody is using, right? Because there is no time for innovation. They're all in the backlogs. They are doing a lot of projects. Even after some of them adopting low code, there is a lot of challenges. And because of not automating the software, the people are scarce, right? When I say scarce, Let's take an example like credit card application form is not automated in a bank. That means instead of one software is doing a job of credit card application, there will be 10 people doing that job. So a software can do that job more efficiently, but you need to have 100 people sitting in the backgrounds typing this information for the customers from the form. So if you construct this, there is a huge scarce of resources, and all of this in a major, massive barrier for doing any transformation. So when I say transformation, what is transformation? Today, I can be very sure none of us goes to the bank, right? We never go to the branch and do any transaction. 90% of most all of our transactions are online. This is the transformation. This is this is a transformation, right? Let's say an automobile industry wants to transform something like this. Most of you have a car or a bike. For service, you go to the service center and give your car. And if it takes 1 hour for you to get all your paperwork done, sign, checkup, and all of that, that is manual work. But in future, transformation will happen in such a way that everything is going to be automated. Until that automation happens, until that transformation happens, you will have a lot of challenges in the enterprises. But how that is that possible to overcome this? This, and do we have a special vehicle, or it is something that we can drive? Of course, right? The step one is okay, got it. So we need a better way to drive the enterprises. So this is what exactly 10 years back, State Bank of India went on asking a lot of leading low-code companies, telling, okay, can you guys transform this, right? Can you take up this backlog and completely convert into when I say backlog, imagine, right? You have an iPhone, you have Android, you have a web application, and you have production, you have development, you have UAT. So if one application will have 6 to 7 source code, if you have 100 application, you will end up having 10,000 source code. Now some issue comes in, nobody knows where to touch. Nobody is aware of where to change, what to change. That's why when you see a bug in a software in such a large industry, it takes so much of time for them to fix it because suddenly the Android is not working on a newer technology. Suddenly Java is not supporting because that open source has been not been supported. So there are hundreds of challenges when it comes to transformation. So what is the way to drive the transformation is basically you need to focus on three impacts or three fundamental things that low code gives you for a better digital transformation. Number one, the low code gives you is the speed. So when I say speed, um, any project, for example, you want to open a new bank account. For that to build a software, it will take not more than 4 to 8 weeks in a low code. Wherein if you develop the same thing in any of the React or a Java or a .NET, it will take about 16 to 32 weeks, right? So it is almost one fourth is the speed that low code will give you, right? How it will give you, what is the architecture, how that can really make you to do it. That is something we have to hold it for some time later. It's more tech. But now let's understand from the business point of view, right? Now the speed is given to the IT team of a bank. Now a bank is delivering a software 6 months once. Now they are delivering it in 4 weeks. Now what will happen? The backlog of 50 will become 30, it will become 20, it will become 10, and at some point they will be equally working with business to deliver more application. Now that will help the team to innovate new things, right? Because they are no more worried in delivering the old solutions or the solutions that are coming from the business. This next thing is changes. So when I say changes, today, let's say you have a form that where you fill and then submit, and there is a new field that you need to add. If it is non-low code environment, it will take easily, let's say, 1 week to 2 weeks time, because You need to do 3 different times. You need to check in Android separately, iPhone separately, web separately, and then completely test everything. So all of that agility is very difficult when you have it in a pro code or when you have it in a native technologies. But what low code gives you is that agility. It can be in 1 and 2 hours, because I'm going to change in one place, and the changes will get impacted in everywhere, right? So we call this as write once, run everywhere. Okay, so you write once and run everywhere. You don't need to go and change in different places. So that is an agility. And it also gives enterprises for a better adoption. When I say better adoption, you could have seen, I don't know how many of you use Access Bank. A lot of times it feels, this mobile app is so easier. Like, it gives me five minutes, I can do any transaction. And YONO SBI gives me so much of flexibility, and they are releasing new apps so frequently or new services so frequently, which is called adoption, which it's just a real business impact, right? So that is how, traditional barriers are converted into beautiful derivatives in enterprises using the digital transformation. So using the logo, right? So, there are multiple impacts. What I picked up is few impacts that you have to know when you start training some of them. Say, for example, uh, UI UX, application workflow, business process, modeling, DevOps, analytics, everything is in one box. That's called logo, right? If you take in a traditional development process, all of them has a different technology. For example, you need to use DevOps, Kubernetes, you need to use analytics, Power BI, you need to use BPM, different product, you need to use Node, you need to use React, you need to use React Native or Flutter. Imagine so many tools and technologies, right? So the first impact that low code brings you is it gives you all in one box. You don't need to shift into technologies. And when you compare to Java, when you compare to .NET, it is like 6 times faster than Java, 4 times faster than .NET. So that means what? If I take a project of 1 year in .NET, in low code, I can deliver in 3 months, right? If I take a project of 1 year in Java, I can deliver in 2 months, right? Because that is how the low code is going to be fast. So that is a very important factor, which is called time to market, right? How fast I'm going to deliver my software to the market is all about IT, right? IT is all about that. It's not about delivering a software. Delivering software everybody does today. How fast I deliver is what it is. But it cannot be a school project also, right? Because you have only to deliver in 3 weeks, you cannot put everything like a toy and then give it. It has to be enterprise grade. It has low code gives you that enterprise grade and easy to learn. So today, if you ask any fresh graduate who are from the IT, CSE or AI or anybody, they will take only 2 weeks to learn any low code platform like Coney OutSystems, Mendix, APN. These are some of the platforms that it will take only 2 weeks to 3 weeks for them to understand that. They don't need to sit and code. They should know how to use that tool. And then they will know the complete life cycle much faster, right? Today, if you take a software developer, if you ask him whether he can configure AWS or a DevOps, he cannot do, because there is very less knowledge on full life cycle. But when you work in low code, you get a full picture of end to end, and you will also have an excellent adoption to omni-channel. When I don't know, most of you know about omni-channel. Omni-channel is like, if you develop one application, it will work on web, it will work on mobile phone, it will work on tablets, it will work on kiosk machines, it can work on TV, it can work on watch. But you will not write 6 coding, you will write one code. If you write one code, and if it works in every channel, which is, each of them is called channel, and together is called omni-channel. So low code, once you develop a project and deploy, it will work in everything. So that is a great impact that in a ecosystem, that if you are in a software development, you can understand. I don't want to manage multiple teams. It's very straightforward, right? Okay. So here comes the big question, right? Okay, when I use a low code, is it something that I have to only use the development of my front end, or only mobile app, or only my digital experiences? Say, first thing that I wanted to give you is like low code as a unlimited potential first, right? That's something that we have to understand. Second is, this three boxes is what the entire software development is all about. If you look at from the bird's eye view, if you go to any enterprises, any company, what they will develop is core applications first. Oracle, SAP, all of these are called core applications, right? Once you have the core application, they will have something called operational application. For example, like for instance, in 10 years back, when you apply a credit card or a bank opening a new account, you will fill a form, right? And once the form is filled, and it will take 4 to 7 working days for the bank to process. So the bank will sit and type all your information, and from there it will get automated in a software. That is called operational softwares, which is not given to public, which is not given to outside the bank or outside the organization, right? Those are all called operational application. And then comes the front end application. For example, IRCTC booking, railway tickets, make my trip, your booking tickets. So you will see only the customer experience applications. That is, you want to see, you will see. What you want to apply, you will apply. It will go to operational application, and then finally it will integrate to core application. So this is how the potential works. But if somebody don't have SAP, for example, or Oracle, for example, somebody who doesn't have operation application, low code can extremely help them to build everything in one box, right? You don't need to really go between ERP to middleware to digital experience, all of that. So you will find it that I can build anything in low code, starting from my backend system, from my task automation or BPM, and to my front end applications. So for this, you don't need a different team. You don't need a complex architecture, etc. All you need to know is your business requirements that you need to build on low code. That is the potential of low code, right? That is the reason why the low code can be so faster. It will able to deliver more projects, much speed, and also easy to change and easy to adopt. Today, as we speak, if you open up any of the government RFPs that is released in Tamil Nadu today, you will find 10 out of 9 RFPs, so 9 out of 10 RFPs are low code, right? It is not there before. Now, Tamil Nadu government itself is asking, provide us low code, right? Large banks asking us in low code. Okay, will this low code going to be ever? No, it will evolve, right? The next evolution of low code is hyper automation. How it will change, that's for another day, but hyper automation is the next space that you need to look upon, right? Which is an advancement of low code. Okay, so that brings us like an idea how low code is helping enterprises to build applications, right? So I'm just gonna show you one use case and explain you exactly what we did for an enterprise or what we did for a bank. And also I'll show you a couple of slides on different industries and different use cases. Now, before that, just to recap, low code is building complex applications faster. Number one, it has a great market. It is all about $100 billion market in 2028. Then it is a highly potential product. where you can build with speed, agility, and adoption. And it is having a potential of building any type of application, including core, backend operations, or front-end applications. And it is fast, 6 times faster than Java. It is 4 times faster than .NET. Okay, this is something that you need to carry in your mind. And then, with this, how do we approach a bank, right? So what we did is we went to one of the leading bank, got about 4,000 employees and 8 different countries and 150 branches. This is one of the big top bank in Middle East and Africa. And when we went, they were having lot of applications. They have about 100 services that they offer to their customers, and multiply that into 8 countries. Okay. Then they have, every branch, they have more than 200,000 customers, and then multiply that into it. Now the CIO of the bank and asking us, okay, we have now hundreds of source code, hundreds of projects. How do you do that? Then we started working on multiple rollout possibilities. Then we started working on segregating this into a different spaces, right? What we did is, initially we went and said, let's focus on retail. So for you to understand what is retail, what is corporate in a banking, retail is, all of us are retail. So we have a bank account and we do a lot of transaction in a bank as a person, individual, right? A bank having individuals like us, we are all called retail banking. If a bank has corporates, like let's say ICICI, let's say Infosys is having an account in ICICI, so that is called corporates. So there, in bank terminology, you have retail banking, you have a corporate banking. So in this retail banking space, what we did is we segregated all of that into 8 different countries, and we said we will do one country, and then we will replicate this into 8 times, right? With small changes, and all of them has to happen in 6 months, right? Okay. Will that have a compromise? That's the question, right? Okay, because I'm going to use low code, because I'm going to do faster, I don't need to compromise anything. I can still create a great design. I can still create a secured project platform. No, imagine 1 million users, bank accounts cannot be insecure, right? It is impossible, where we will be even put in jail. So we had that challenge on producing a secure transaction. That means, no compromise on the security. And one more complexity comes when it comes to the Middle East and African market, which is language. So we need to develop an Arabic also. Arabic is not like French, where you translate. It also, the script is opposite. So the screens has to be changing based on the language. And we have the major common features like ATM locators, branch locators, map, this. The complexity has been like increased so much. And also the bank has told us, from 6 months onwards, not even one people has to come to branch to open an account. Okay. It has to be an online onboarding. That customers should not come to a bank account or branch to open account. And within 2 hours, you guys have to help them to get a account number with all the access going to their email. So we came up with some really structured approach, with low code, and we started in June and delivered in December, in 6 months, and it became one of the best use cases. Fast forward, after this project, we have implemented 16 banks across the industry, across the region. So 16 banks using low code, you could imagine, right? So that means the impact that low code has given in the industry like banking. That's one industry, right? So if you look at this screenshot, you will find it. that there is no compromise on the design, right? It is in fact better than many mobile application that I have encountered. So we have created a lot of features. So for instance, if you see here, you will find a menu that's called contact us, frequently asked questions, terms and conditions, etc. In the low code, you don't need to do anything. You just need to drag the menu and put it here. That's all. You need to type what you want. So that easy, right? So build a four forms, what you see in your screen. It will only take 30 minutes to build it in low code. So that will give a developer a lot of time to do innovation. Now we can think loud. Now we can think, say if I am a student and if I'm introducing to this kind of a software, now I can start thinking, oh yeah, I know I can work in a lot of projects in 5 years. So whenever I go and tell myself personally to anybody, in 10 years I have done 150 projects, sometimes nobody believes because they say like, how it's possible? Every year you do two projects. It cannot be 150 projects, right? But with low code, it's possible, right? So that's the impact that we have given into this bank, and low code is given to this bank, and that's where the digital transformation is completely getting matured using low code, right? So that's one use case in a bank, right? Now, is it something low code can be in bank healthcare? No, it can be even in a sports industry like this. So if what you see in your screen is the FIFA 2022 World Cup that you must have seen, Argentina won. I don't know how many of you are Messi fans, but 2022 this project this event is happening, and 2015 we have went and developed these projects for them. It's in Qatar. So they adopted low code. So we went and delivered almost 20 applications, including employee application, vendor application, fan application. So fan will have an app, stats, players, all of that into one low code approach, right? The design looks like a football and all of that. So this kind of industry, right? It is a committee. It's called Supreme Committee, and this committee is what who is conducting the World Cup, and they trusted low code to deliver all the application. Imagine 2022 date cannot be changed. The World Cup has to happen in that year. So that means the low code is the only way that they have confidence to deliver so many applications in that period of time. They are only 6 years to develop everything. It including stadium, right? Some of them are dependent to us. Unless they finish the stadium, we cannot develop the software. By the time they finish the stadium, then we started developing software. So that kind of an industry, complex industry, adopting the low code. And most of you know this cement company by heart, right? Every wall you see Ultratech Cement in India. They are number one player, come from Aditya Birla Group, etc. So they have about 2,500 people in sales working in the field, right? So they adopted low code, where the sales people will carry the sales application to do a lot of activities on a daily basis, right? So that is an interesting use case if you look at it, because they will not get signals in certain area. They will work in a hot sun. They cannot carry the phone to every place. Wherein we have to give them a lot of options like offline, save for later, then transactional losses, because he goes and takes an order of 510 cement, and if the transaction is not coming to the back end, it's a loss for the company. So that is the power of low code, right? It is really impacting the business on making all these transactional losses, etc. So that's Ultratech Cement Salesforce application. Then we also developed an application called Connect. So this is an application that will extend to all their users. When I say users, if it is a cement manufacturing company, they have contractors, architects, engineers, masons, all of them are part of their ecosystem. They are not employees, but they are in the ecosystem. Imagine the power of low code, right? The low code can really, roll out an application for all these external people, and they can say, for example, I'm an engineer, and I have have a utility in this application where I type, uh, I want to build a 2000 square feet house, 2 floors. Then this app will generate how much cement is required, how much concrete is required, how much steel is required. All of them will come in one click for engineer. It saves so much of time for him. He doesn't need to sit and do all these calculations by himself. And this complexity is, as I speak, it's very easy to say, but when you sit and do this app, it's a very complex app, because you have to convince that engineers that this is the right data, and as well as you have to do the lot of calculations with a lot of variables. For example, somebody in Kerala, somebody in Kashmir, and somebody in Tamil Nadu have three different variables to calculate this data. Cement consumption will be different for different complexities or different variables. So we build this all in 3 months, 2 months, 4 months. This is something that we started enjoying to the core. So that's how Ultratech Cement started seeing that real digital transformation happening. So the business gonna come, the marketing team will come and ask them, can you develop an application? They will say that, okay, in 2 weeks we'll deliver this. And that is 20 years of struggle has been solved, right? Until 20 years, it takes 3 months, 4 months, 6 months for them to deliver app. Now, after the low code coming in, they will deliver only in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 8 weeks time. That is the impact that you're talking about in digital transformation that is using low code. Okay. So that is what I have today. I'm going to leave you with that curiosity for you to go and learn who are the low code players, what Gartner is telling about low code. Is it something that can I architect a software very quickly with the low code? What is the best architecture for low code? So all of that, you can explore, and definitely I will leave the contacts for you to email me for some reason, some information you may need, right? So I think I'm going to hold it for questions. If there is any questions, I'll be happy to answer you guys.
If there are any questions, please feel free to raise your hands to ask directly to Naren, or you can also drop your questions in the question. Yeah. So we have a question. What are the technologies used in low code?
So low code is a platform that has been delivered by companies like, let's say, Siemens. They developed a low code platform called Mendix. There's a platform called OutSystems. There's a platform called HCL got a platform called Ultimax. So these are the platforms on low code. But technologies used in low code differs from the platform to platform. For example, Kony uses JavaScript, Java. OutSystems uses .NET framework. Then there is another upcoming platforms nowadays started using Angular, React, all of that. So the technology is used is open source, but it's not, it's not that, that you need to go and write code into that. So the platform will have a have a wrapper on top of these technologies, and when you drag drop something in the back end, the codes are generated, and the database is generated, and all of that. The sequence will happen. So the tech stack little bit different to platform, but it's you can learn more as well.
Thanks for that, Naren. We have another question. What are the limitations in low code?
Sometimes limitations are, you know, you may think, I have to buy this platform, and I have to invest this platform upfront. Say today I want to start a project in React, I don't need to spend any money. But if I go to OutSystems or even Mendix, I have to pay license for their platform. So that it considers a limitations in many places, especially customers in India, because our resources are availability of resources very easy, so that we all think we can build with native technologies. But if you convert the cost of ownership in 10 years, low code will be cheaper. So there is the limitations on commercials, the limitations on dependency. Say, for example, you will start feeling I am dependent on this platform. But that is also a myth, because if you use React, you are dependent on React. If you use Java, you are dependent on Java. Sometimes it's okay to have license and then be dependent so that somebody is there to help you. So these are some of the limitations I have seen in many places when we discuss about low code. Customer will talk about, why we should depend on a platform like this. We will not have freedom. What will happen if they vanish? What will happen if the company is closed? All these considered to be limitations, but this deeper research can be done and given inputs for right decisions.
Angel, would you like to ask your question directly? I saw that you had raised your hands. She has already entered her question as well. How to choose the low code platform and what is the best low code, no code platform?
Okay, so when you want to choose a low-code platform, there are few inputs that you need to consider. One is number of applications that you need to deliver in certain period of time. For example, if your company is going to do one application and that's it, end of life, you may not even need low-code, because there's no need of having a platform that you just need to develop one application. But if you're an enterprise and you have multiple applications, then you need to find out how much of time that required, what's the team size. All those parameters will tell you what to choose, right? Or whether a low code or a native. So that is the first, that's the foremost parameters that you use for choosing low code versus native. After that, if you decide that your organization has to go to low code, then the next step is go on Gartner and Forrester, and they have a detailed report on all the platforms that are available in the market in their magic quadrant, and you can choose based on your commercial appetite and how much you can spend. So you have a different ranges of software where you will have offerings differs from platform to platform. You have to do that research and find out which is best for me. If you ask us, we have delivered projects in multiple platforms, so we would not say there's something, this is the best platform. But Gartner kind of a report is already telling that 5, 6 platforms are the leaders. They are the top leaders, right? So we can always see that report to take a final decision.
Okay, thanks, Naren. There's one more question. How faster in performance is low code compared to traditional methods?
So, as I said, like speed of development is one thing, and speed of application is second thing. So, speed of development is what we spoke. That is not come under performance. Performance is something that if my application is used by 1 million people, and if at a time 200,000 people are using my application, this doesn't depend on low code or no code, or a native. It is depend on your cloud, and it depends on your scalability of the cloud. So I would say, it doesn't matter in low code when it comes to the performance. It is someone who is managing your cloud can do all the infrastructure availability for you to do a performance. But when you do an application development, the responsiveness of the applications is much faster in low code compared to the no code. And when you're doing a development on your native applications, there are so much of developer dependent, right? A developer has to do a lot of things. A developer has to look after the security, look after the vulnerability, look after the in all the security aspects. He needs to put a lot of session controls, etc. But when it comes to low code, it is all taken care by the platform. That means, your security aspects is perfectly managed. That enable you to focus more on the performance and understand your ecosystem and enable your infrastructure accordingly, so it can work. We have seen more than 50,000 concurrent users size, and which absolutely worked fine.
Okay. We
And it's
have
99.5%, 98.9%. This kind of a difference between performance is not known to end user, right? So you will not even blink of eye, it will happen. So
we have another question. If a no-code platform or company is not listed in Gartner, does that mean it's not a good company or a good,
no, no, not
product?
really. So Gartner to list in a Magic Quadrant takes lot of credibility and lot of milestones the company has to achieve. So you can always look after the companies, upcoming companies. So last year alone, there are 680 new low-code companies has been come in the market, right? And it's not necessary that you need to use only the Gartner quadrant platforms. But when you go on a new platforms, there's a reasonable amount of risk that you need to consider, which you will need to evaluate. For instance, I would say if you go to a Gartner quadrant today, you will find a platform called Neutrinos in the Gartner quadrant. This platform, we started working with them even before they come into the Gartner quadrant. But because we know what is low code, we could evaluate them and said, okay, this is something that we should try. And because of that, we will also become early adopters to them, which is an advantage when they go in Gartner. So there's always a respect to every single platform in the market. Everybody is striving hard to do it. What chooses you, that you can always take a decision. Gartner, why Gartner and Forrester kind of platforms are preferable is, instead of you doing the research, Gartner has already done the research. They have given you a detailed report of each platform, what is good, what is bad, what is ugly. So that will give you a lot of potential to take a decision. But in my personal opinion, you can always support an upcoming platform. There's no doubt on that.
Okay, Naren, before we close, I have a couple of questions if you can answer.
Sure.
Just wanted to understand what are the best practices that one can utilize when they are implementing low-code solutions?
Okay, so that's little more deep tech, but I'll just give you an idea. Um, See, when you get into low code, the big difference of a developer is, uh, developer is no more need to think about basics and start working on a lot of codings and etc. The first discipline that the developer is to understand is how best to use the platform, and how that the train they get the proper training on the platform that they choose, and understand the impacts that the platform is giving, and make utilize that ecosystem and the platform to develop the what you are intent to develop, right? That is the foremost, I would say that is the best practice that they have to follow. And because when we always started thinking about best practices in development, the reason is say, we are like we are developers in the same company. The way you code and the way I code is different.
Yeah.
That is the reason the best practices came from the company saying that whenever you write a line of code, you need to write a comment in the bracket. It's a best
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
But when it low code comes, you don't need to do everything. It's all platform is taken care, right? So you and I cannot do a different things. You and I will end up doing the same thing. So that is why there is no best practices for a developer access, but it is all comes under the discipline of how you use the platform. That will derive you to be more successful.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Naren. We have a couple of more questions. How to manage third-party packages and version control?
So DevOps part of the low-code platform. Most of the low-code platform gives the DevOps. So you can bring in any. Say for example, you have a JavaScript as a package or a .NET, a program that is not part of the low-code, and you want to bring in as your own program. You can bring inside and leave the DevOps of the platform to manage the version control. So that is the that's the advantage of low code. So you don't need to really sit on GitHub and do managing the control the versions, all of that. It really, not every platform. So that's the reason Gartner versus not Gartner come in play. So a lot of upcoming platforms, they ignore that. They say DevOps you manage it in GitHub or other DevOps as you not normally do. We will only do application development. But some of the leading software platforms like Mendix OutSystems kind of platforms, they have inbuilt DevOps which will help you to manage all these packages, integrations. So they have lot of ways to allow you to bring your own packages and own integrations, and from there you can manage that.
Uh, Mr. Hariharan, I think you have also raised your hands. Yes, a question which is how to change other technology applications into low code without starting from or developing from scratch.
Yeah, honestly, there is no lift and shift in low code. So if you're already developed an application in .NET, let's say, and if you are thinking to move that to a low code, that's not technically possible. But there's a lot of components you can reuse. For example, UI designs that you already developed that can be reused here. Some of the integrations, scriptings that you have used in your existing project can be used. But there is no magic from this to that. So, and also the vice versa. After you developed in low code, you want to change back to .NET. It's not one click, and then it is working on next day on .NET. If that is so easy, then life is so easy as well. So there is no lift and shift, but you need to redevelop in terms of project. However, there is components that you can reuse.
We will just take one last question here. What are your thoughts about Zvolve no code, low code platform if you've heard about it?
Yeah, I heard about it. In fact, I worked with their team. We built their backend team in Chennai. I think somebody you know that. So they come under the upcoming platform, which are not listed in Gartner. And Zivol is not low code. Zivol is in hyperautomation. So that is an advancement of low code. So they are working in the hyperautomation space. However, when there is a requirement from low code, they go and participate in that projects. But Zivol basically focus on hyperautomation, and I see they have a reasonable future if they stuck to the ideology of building a hyperautomation.
Thank you so much, Naren, for taking the extra time and going through all the questions.
My pleasure.
Um, Hari, I think there's another question from Hari Haran. But I think since we are overshooting, you can feel free to drop an email to Naren and me. Um, and thank you so much, everyone, for keeping the questions flowing. shows that you have understood what Naren is speaking about, and you have also dabbled yourself with these technologies, and that's nice to see. Because it's again, like Naren said, it's a $1 billion industry, and the more the people know about it, the greater. That's very nice to see, and thanks again, Naren, for taking time out to create the content, and taking this time out to speak to our professors. Thank
Thank
you
you so
again
much.
to all the professors also for continuing to join with our sessions. Feel free to drop your thoughts or feedback about this session, or any future sessions also with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for your time.